Welcome everyone. So this is chapter number 1 of NCRT book class 6th. The name of the chapter is Who Did Patrick's Homework? Now this is the main character of the story. The name of this boy is Patrick. So we'll start with the chapter. Patrick never did homework. Too boring, he said. He played hockey and basketball and Nintendo instead. His teachers told him, Patrick, do your homework or you won't learn a thing. And it's true. Sometimes he did feel like an ignoramus. But what could he do? He hated homework. Then, one day, he found his cat playing with a little doll and he grabbed it away. To his surprise, it wasn't a doll. So, by far in this chapter, we've discussed the beginning, how the chapter starts. So, we get an idea of this character, the central character Patrick, that he doesn't like to do his homework. So, he instead likes to play hockey, basketball, Nintendo instead, right? Now, the teachers also told him, Patrick, you should be doing your homework, otherwise, you won't learn a single thing. So, he hated homework. This is what we understood. So, one day he finds a cat playing with a little doll and he grabbed it away. So, to his surprise, it wasn't a doll. Now, before moving to the next page, we will see what else do we have on this page. We have word meaning. So first is Nintendo. It's a video game. And ignoramus. Ignoramus is an ignorant person who lacks education. Now let's move on to the next page. So it wasn't a doll at all, but a man of the tiniest size. He had a little wool shirt with old-fashioned breeches and a high tall hat, much like a witch's. He yelled, Save me! Do not give me back to that cat. I'll grant you a wish. I promise you that. So, the elf, this tiny little creature, is after saving his own life from the cat. Now Patrick could not believe how lucky he was. Here was the answer to all of his problems. So he said, Only if you do all my homework till the end of the semester. That's 35 days. If you do a good enough job, I could even get A's. Now the little man's face wrinkled like a dishcloth thrown in the hamper. He kicked his legs and doubled his fists, and he grimaced and scowled and pursed his lips. Oh, am I cursed? But I'll do it. So, this is the reaction of the tiny little man, the elf. Now, the word meanings on this page, we have breeches. What is a breech? What do you mean by breeches? Or breeches or short trousers. So what are they? Now the writer here spells it for fun to rhyme with the word witches. Dishcloth. So it's a cloth used for washing dishes. Then we have hamper, a basket with a lid. Grimaced, scowled, pursed his lips. His face had these expressions. So the face of the elf had these expressions showing disgust and disapproval. Now on the next page we see, and true to his word, that little elf began to do Patrick's homework, except there was one glitch. The elf didn't always know what to do, and he needed help. Help me, he would say, and Patrick would have to help in whatever way. I don't know this word, the elf squeaked while reading Patrick's homework. Get me a dictionary. No, what's even better, look up the word and sound it out by each letter. When it came to maths, Patrick was out of luck. What are times tables? The elf shrieked. We elves never needed that. Now, the meaning on this page are Glitch. It's an informal word, a fault in a machine that prevents it from working properly. So here, hitch or a problem. Then we have another word which is shrieked. So gave a short, high-pitched cry. Now from the next page, we'll understand that now the addition and subtraction and division and fraction. So all of these terms are related to the subject maths, in which Patrick was no lucky at all. So here, sit down beside me. You simply must guide me. So the elf says, elves know nothing of human history. To them, it's a mystery. So the little elf, already a shouter, just got louder. Go to the library. I need books, more and more books, and you can help me read them too. Now, the elf is asking for the help to the Patrick. As a matter of fact, every day, in every way, that little elf was a nag. Patrick was working harder than ever, and was it a drag? He was staying up nights, had never felt so weary, was going to school with his eyes puffed and bleary. Finally, the last day of school arrived, and the elf was free to go. As for homework, there was no more, so he quietly and slyly slipped into the back door. Patrick got his A's, his classmates were amazed, his teachers smiled and were full of praise, and his parents, they wondered what had happened to Patrick. He was now the model kid, cleaned his room, did his chores, was cheerful, never rude, like he had developed a whole new attitude. You see, in the end, Patrick still thought he would make that tiny man do all his homework. But I'll share a secret just between you and me. It wasn't the Patrick, it wasn't the elf. Patrick had done it himself. So we understood from the story that instead of the elf asking or granting, granting all the wish of Patrick. Still, Patrick was the one who was actually working each and every day harder, and therefore he managed to get all his A's all by himself. Nag, one who troubles someone all the time by complaining or asking them to do something, is a nag. Then we have the word drag. It's an informal word. Something dull or uninteresting can be called a drag. What is slyly? Slyly is secretively. Then we have another word which is kid. It's an informal word for a child. Chores. These are the work that must be done every day, often boring. Then we have attitude, or feeling about someone or something. So this finishes the chapter by Carol Morey. So we'll continue with the back exercises in my next class. Thank you and have a great day ahead.